everything's on.
All right, we'll begin with the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. We welcome everybody to January 31st. This is the canvass for the USD 410 special bond election. So we'll turn it over to the election team.
Good morning. I just gotta write some stuff down. All right, I did send you a packet last night with the election summary report. It was fairly late last night, sorry. But we did have a pretty smooth election. We had a total of 539 voters, including advance and provisional. We did have some matters of interest. So those would be, we had one ballot that, so we used Benny, the DS200 tabulator at a polling place for the first time. So we deployed that and decided to try it out, and it went really well. There was one ballot that couldn't be read by the DS200, but when they brought it back on election night, we were able to read it through the DS450. So there were 4 blank ballots cast on election day. We did have 4 advance ballots that were received after election day, but none of them could be legally counted because one wasn't postmarked even though it was received on time. 2 were postmarked properly but received too late. Or no, they were postmarked too late and received on time. And then the last one was received too late and postmarked on time. So none of those could be counted. So there were 4 that I listed them in your provisional over here. Those we automatically reject, but we list them as as a provisional. Let's see. We did receive notification after the election that a voter had passed away after they voted, but before election day. So there is a law in the books that says an advance voter that votes and then dies before the actual date of the election, that ballot is not supposed to be counted. However, we didn't know until after it had already been counted, and there was nothing that we could do about that. So just an interesting little matter there. So on the table you have the results from where we are right now after election night. So we had 464 yes and 59 no, and then it shows you the voter turnout there. So the next step, does anybody have questions about anything that we've discussed? The next steps would be to address the provisional ballots. So we did have a total of, oops, that's a wrong number. A total of 8 provisional ballots from the polling place. 6 of those were in-county moves, not 8. And then 2 of those voted at the wrong polling place. And all of those 8 we would recommend count. In-county moves are always counted. And voting at the wrong polling place in this instance didn't cause a problem because the ballot style was exactly the same for everyone. So.
Any questions on the provisional ballots? Not, is there a motion to approve the provisional ballots as outlined, recommended by the election team?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Crowfoot, second by Commissioner Becker. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried 3-0.
Okay. We'll bring those in here and open them up, and then Michelle can scan them. I did not pull the trays out. In the meantime, this is, we cleared the results this morning, ran a 0 report. This just shows that the scanner has no existing votes on it. So if you look at that and actually initial it, that'd be
okay.
Right.
Initial it. Oh, initial it? Yeah.
No, use red ink.
That's fine.
Okay.
Just as well use the red pen.
40 there, huh?
I know it's loud.
We don't have a crowd to watch.
We didn't on election night either. There wasn't anybody out there.
Interesting.
Looking one more time, just to be safe.
Just let you use this same one from election night.
Oh, okay.
All empty?
Yep.
John's gonna be here this, traveling.
Okay, so one of you wants to read and the other can just, on the paper that I gave you that has the colors on it, just use your red pen and add the totals for yes and no, and then we'll get a grand total.
Okay, are you ready? On the, excuse me, yeses are 5, 4, yes, and no is 3. So yes is 5, no is 3. Totally.
I just wanted to make sure I have the right result sheet. I was looking at so many things last night. Make sure. Okay, so then that is a total of 469 and 62. Does everybody agree?
Yes.
Okay.
It's 5 and 3. Need to initial that.
Initial this one.
Sure.
That's a good idea. Very good.
If you touch it, you initial it. So what's the DS2000, just a standalone machine?
Yeah, once you vote, you put your ballots in it, and it counts it right then and there.
We don't have to count it when it gets here then?
Nope. It's the one we normally have in the hallway for early voting.
So it's a small box.
You guys get a bunch more of them?
Like to.
Like to. It would be nice to have it for Hillsborough and for Marion,
Higher volume.
because they're the ones that get a lot more people and it takes a lot longer on election night.
Okay. Oh, is that the results one or the, okay, perfect. Do you have another pen that's not red?
Okay. A black pen.
A black, that'd be good. So this is the final results, the 469 and 52. And, oh, 62.
Yeah, 62.
Ah, okay, let me fix that. And then this is for you to sign.
That's why there's many eyes.
Right.
That's quick.
That's better.
Okay.
That's why I always take this with me, because like, you'd think I would be able to remember for 2 minutes.
You get a lot of stuff.
Yeah. All right, those ballots, do you two want to go ahead and bag?
So are we ready for the motion to approve? Do we have a motion from the Board of Canvassers to certify the outcome of the election, which would be 469 votes in favor, 62 votes against. So moved. Motion by Commissioner Becker, second by Commissioner Crowfoot. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried 3-0.
Michelle, do you know where those yellow sheets are? Because I can't find any more of those little yellow
Oh,
partials.
no.
Okay, so we'll just label the bag. You can have the board sign those. Label the bag as provisionals then, since I don't have
When
that
we
sheet.
seal it, we'll grab it, somebody needs to sign that.
Okay, signature.
Yeah,
You
just
can
sign wherever.
sign anywhere.
Doesn't matter where.
It's just basically a seal showing that once we close them, they aren't tampered with. So,
Is that one to be black or red?
it doesn't matter.
Trying to follow the rules.
Thank you.
Just sign all in the same line.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
You can sign any place you'd like.
When you tear it open, it goes through your name.
All right.
Here you go. Well, is that the fastest canvas ever?
With that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Made it just in time, didn't it?
I made a motion to adjourn, second by Commissioner Becker. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried 4-0. Thank you very much for the election team and your hard work and all of the full volunteers to make it possible.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna stop this. Okay, everything's on.
All right. Let's do the flag salute, even though a couple of us already have. Let's do it again. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome everybody to the January 31st Marion County Commission meeting, payday meeting, and last meeting of the month. So we begin with public forum. I don't see anyone in the room. Don't see anyone online. So let's move into agenda approval. Anything to add to the agenda? All right, the agenda stands approved as presented, and we will move into payday and administrative business.
All right, in your packet, you have the sales tax and the amount of $82,290.92. And we do not have any invoices this month for Western or for Falcon. We do have a payday figure of $2,117,769.06.
Okay, it looked like it was insurance month.
Yes.
A large portion of that went for your insurance premiums. Any questions on payday?
On paydays.
Yes.
Just a clarification.
Yes.
On page 20, I think that was under road and bridge, we had a bill 10,000 something to head construction. Which head construction is that? There's 2 head constructions in Marion County.
I can pull that invoice for you to look at.
I mean, it may need to be, we got Dave Head Construction and Justin Head Construction. One's concrete and one's dirt.
I believe it was probably concrete.
I think Dave, that is construction. I'm trying to think what Justin's, it's hit something, but I can't.
Well, it's just not that I question, I think it needs to be
Yeah,
noted.
clarified.
Clarified which construction company.
They do go by different company names, I do believe, for those different ones.
Anybody know what it was spent for? Before we ask this. Apparently not.
Just trying to think of what it would be.
Probably, possibly a generator pad, I'm not sure.
Pretty expensive.
Never heard of it.
Well, I don't know the answer, because I haven't looked
Section.
over the bridges.
Cans on 170th.
Kansas 170th.
That would make sense.
So it's down there in a new area.
Right.
Be 2 miles south of. I was just wondering if it was dirt work.
What page of the packet is
I think it
it?
was
Would that be
page
south of the,
20.
south of New Concrete? South of New Concrete?
That'd be south, because the new concrete doesn't go, it goes to 175th.
It would have been south of the new
That
concrete.
bridge or something, there's a bridge there.
Yeah. And there's cattails growing in the ditch there, so maybe they poured a slough.
That's why I was wondering if it was dirt work. Drainage, I mean.
Yeah. Trying to remember.
That's been an
Drain
issue,
tile.
been an issue down there forever, that area, swamp area down there.
Do you have that pulled up?
I'll get it.
I'm down in the 30s is where.
Isn't it page 20?
Page 12.
Yeah, 10,505 under road and bridge, 170th in Kansas. You need a check number?
Packet,
Excuse
packet
me,
number
because I'm not
12 for you
seeing
and,
it.
number 12 on the,
Very first one.
Okay. Thank you.
oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Helps to know where to look. Oh, right there it is, right on top.
No, it's probably charged back, that's why I'm not seeing it. That's going against the 2023 budget. That's why it was not in the right spot on here for me to see. Okay, so this is for 170th Kansas water crossing. Here, I'll just pull it off.
Pull it out.
There you go.
Dave had construction.
Low water bridge.
You wanna see it?
Has to be low water crossing. Yeah, I didn't remember talking about doing a low water, if it is just a low water crossing. I think there is one out there that's off of 170.
Okay, thank you, Tina.
You're welcome. Sorry it took me a little longer to find it than it should
That
have.
explains when it's in the different area. Okay, other questions? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
A motion by Commissioner Garing, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second. Commissioner Crowfoot, discussion. Any other questions or discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Okay, here are the signature pages for payroll.
Okay.
For the pay. And the comp report.
Okay.
The big green folder.
Found it.
I forgot about it for a second.
Other things happened since then.
It's gonna be
Just use your initials.
it's gonna be an hour worth of signing here in a second.
No, it's not. We're gonna do that at the end.
Get the stamps out.
No. Yeah.
Watch, because there's some C&J ones on there. C&Js that are out of interest.
Since this has your name on it, is this being addressed in this packet? Is Lloyd?
That's not, that's Tina,
The
Treasurer
other
Tina.
Tina.
Oh, Tina
Tina
Graney.
Graney.
Tina Graney, yeah, okay.
It was just information that she provided. Yes. That's why I put the sticky on it.
Yeah.
I guess I should have put who it was to.
Yeah, that's all right, I just didn't read that.
Okay, thank you.
I just wanna make sure it's being addressed for the gentleman.
Yes, I mean, it has by, it's, okay. We have change orders. Change orders, I'll just hand those to you.
Thank you. Now
okay.
let's move on to the next item.
All right. It's obviously a big stack there.
As I can.
I do have the minutes were in your packet from January 29th.
Okay, Commission has had a chance to review the minutes of January 29th. Any questions or corrections? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Gehring, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Crowfoot. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Abstain.
Very good. 4 in favor, 1 abstain.
Got it. Okay. Oops. Okay. It looks like we have one transport fuel bid and one area fuel bid is all. So if you want to take one of each of those and pass them on.
It's cheaper. Cheaper by comparison to previous months, so that's good.
And Commissioner Mueller, I'll have to print those minutes and get you to sign them.
Make a motion to go with MFA oil for area and transport.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Gehring to approve the area and transport fuel bid from MFA. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Dalkey. Questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0.
On the table there, you have a map with some yellow on it. Steve brought that up earlier. Those are the current areas that have requests for gravel, and they're working on it. So just information for you. I do have a salary sheet.
In the transfer station, new transfer station worker 1, Joseph Roberts, $2,491 per month, effective January 30th, 2024. Welcome aboard.
I think also on that map, it looks like the X's are the ones that have been addressed.
Have
Is
they
that-
looked?
The ones that who've seen, he's looked at.
These looked at,
So none of them in the North Africa have been looked at.
Okay,
these are all brand new in the last couple of days.
yeah. Well, I'm seeing the one that was, I see 1 or 2 that actually have been already addressed.
Nothing.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, there's no X's.
That's why I want these 4 wheels drive.
Yeah. And some of them that I know are right on paved routes, so pretty accessible.
At least we're not showing favoritism
No.
to the chairman.
Not what my neighbors say. All right, what do we have next?
I do have an FMLA request for a qualified employee. If you want to review that, we need to go into executive. Otherwise, if you are okay with just approving it, then I just need approval for FMLA for a qualified employee.
Knowing that it's qualified, I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve.
Second that.
We have a motion from Commissioner Gehring, a second from Commissioner Crowfoot to approve the FMLA leave for a qualified employee. Any other questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0. Appreciate that.
Okay. And so that's all I have except these change orders.
Did we have any further?
I'm gonna have a discussion with Steve and we'll put it on a next agenda.
Okay,
Or one of the next two. We have time for that.
we have time. Okay, very good. Then we can take care of that.
We've been trying to connect, but it hasn't worked out yet the last couple of days.
Imagine he was very busy and you've been very busy. All right. That will move into everyone's favorite. Wow.
Yeah, there are a lot. Sorry.
Can we that have a stamp, can we use a stamp?
If you want your stamps, I can get them. Or you can initial instead of signing the whole name. So. Anybody want me to get your stamps?
If it's an initial, that's fine.
Just thinking of letting you guys stamp them yours.
Well, we're just seeing if the rules allow.
That's right.
You know, it used to be the chairman was the only one who signed those for years and years until you all changed it, so.
That was his extra duty, see?
That's why the extra pay, right?
Yeah.
No, we didn't give no extra pay, just extra duties.
Quite a bit on the chair
There's
spot
3 in that.
for review. For signature.
Does anybody have an issue with me setting up my office in here temporarily?
Less transport costs when it comes to this.
That way we'll know where you're at when we wanna find you, see?
Yeah, you will. You know, I guess if you need the room, you can kick me out.
This one.
I think next Tuesday, we got a thing with Alamo at 2 in the afternoon or something like that.
I'm sorry, what?
We have a Zoom meeting next Tuesday.
So, also could give you a little follow-up. We did attend the Marion City Planning and Zoning last night. Sharon Olmsted was there, and I was there, and then we did have 2 commissioners there. The Planning Commission recommended approval of our conditional use permit, so that will go before the City Council, we think on Monday the 5th.
I'd like to thank Sharon and Tina for doing an excellent job presentation, preparation, and then also to thank the Planning Commission, a lot of good questions, it was a good discussion. Whiskey 6.
So each one of these are different interest numbers.
You're welcome to attend it too.
Pardon me?
You're welcome to attend the meeting too.
Okay.
This is 6.
How about Kobe attending it?
I will check. I know there's an appointment. Oh, that is the same day we're having, I'm supposed to meet with, court services, I think.
Yeah. That's 2.
And this is also on the same day.
You could move court services up if you want.
Reminder for anyone who can make it, I know not everyone can, that Ashley's swearing in is at 3:30 today.
And Karen Christensen that is 1 to 3.
Karen,
Karen, sorry.
is, they're having a little retirement thing, 1 to 3 today in the attorney's office.
$4.33.
They're all
Like we're spending more money.
That's the problem when you adjust the main guy. All the ones have to come with it.
Yep.
$22.
That's not like it.
There's another one in there again. There's quite a few in there. The decline curve was adjusted. Ooh.
It's not some burning in there. Okay.
gonna have to get more election associates paying so they don't burn out.
We had our first invoice in the administrator's line item. Just saying.
Is it your new clerk?
Oh, no, probably, I don't know if we have that invoice yet. It's for the, membership.
Oh.
Yeah,
Good,
organization.
good.
What's that gonna be initialed as? I didn't really see that
Uh,
in the lines. The eight.
yeah, it's in the general fund, it's, let's see. Where'd it go? But this one is, it's the $75 to, for the Kansas Government Finance Association, Finance Officer Association. So this is, general fund, and it is toward the bottom,
Yeah.
yeah, admin.
Admin,
It's abbreviated ADM.
ADM, okay. Capital's probably, huh?
What's that?
Capital's
It's
probably.
Midland, that's
Yeah,
that's what I
all
was
of ours
thinking.
are capitals
Yeah.
anyway, so don't read too much into
Oh, okay.
that. I was already in that association before as a clerk, so just switched.
I actually have a new phone number or some cell phone.
What?
I actually have a.
Yeah, well, Ashley will end up getting a phone, yes. We haven't done that yet. There are a lot of things that are gonna be happening in the next few weeks.
Yeah. Come at that, you.
Yep. These are all, I'm gonna go take these away while you're finishing that. I thought maybe that you'd eat me, but you didn't.
Nope,
I think we're about halfway.
about halfway.
Maybe halfway.
It looked like a pretty thick bunch. Have we seen Commissioner Garing's name yet?
Let me make sure.
Here's another one.
There's Bartle. I'll back these up for a second. I do have something I need.
This one, this one's new.
No, that's land, I think. That's, solid waste.
Right.
I don't have any title basements. Other than working on it.
I guess my comment was that one can, you can sign.
Oh, yeah.
It all added up. I don't know if you saw on the summary page. It's
Yeah.
a few tax dollars there.
Yeah.
Leaving?
Mhm.
Yeah.
$1.87.
Well, so this is low production, so there's nothing there. Except for the majority. The decent amount.
And I'm gonna leave and have Ashley come in for the rest of the meeting. I have an appointment, so I'm gonna have to leave and Ashley will come in and finish with you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be back, but I have to
I'll be
leave
back.
temporarily.
Oh, I'll be back. Heard that word before.
I'm involved in this one.
Oh, okay. Just write abstain, like decide or, I don't know. I'll just
I
put a
just send it
sticky
on.
note here.
Might be another one too,
Okay.
but I'm not sure. I don't think I have a problem with the royalty ones. Just the working interest one, I think, so mainly.
Okay. I just did this. If you find another one, then you can use that.
I can tag it.
Tag it, please. Thank you.
Three of them.
Very close.
Just took the orange there.
Yeah.
87 cents. Not the lowest.
Nope, 29.
I thought there was one in there for 9 cents.
Oh,
Yeah.
That means that well has been divided out, and divided out, and divided out to 164ths or something. These are all royalty. So it's the landowner that through time has dropped it to kids and kids and kids. And that's great grandkids, and they're all getting this little tiny percentage,
Get your $5 per year.
something. Enough to be tax guy at the end of the year.
That's $30, get it under tax for them.
Yeah. Can't say too much. My father-in-law has one, or 7 wells, but just a tiny little fraction that has been passed down. So it's all west. Did get a decent check once when they got sued and then they had to pay for the helium that they were taking off of the natural gas. And they were just kind of taking the helium. They were going for natural gas, so that's what they were paying for. Well, they got sued and they had to back pay all that, and then that was a decent check.
Well, get used to it. You're gonna come see us from now on.
Yep.
But
Aren't you excited?
Yes,
That
yes.
didn't come through the, Scully told me it was. Need some more.
Quit over there, Dave.
That's it.
And the other ones aren't married yet that I have, so I don't have to worry about them. I'll go everywhere.
I'll just give them to you then. Heck with it.
Just so you don't have to re-sign them all again.
Yeah. Like, follow toothpicks or something, you know, they go everywhere.
I like the Christmas story where the dad's talking about putting the babies in the Red Ryder. Watch out, they go everywhere.
Yeah, you don't want to drop the BBs either.
All right, we got them back organized. Plenty of time. I thought we'd have to wait.
I think that's all she has. So.
That was the one item we put off.
Oh.
And then there was time, so we started.
So we got done.
Sharon is in our office. Do we get her?
Oh, okay, yeah. I think that's one that I don't think will have a large crowd.
She is.
Hi, Sharon.
Hey,
Hi, Kobe.
Running early.
Yeah, it's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
just went
good.
through a huge stack of papers and thought, for sure we would never get that done.
Was it the stack I sent you or?
No.
This is from the appraiser's office.
Alright. My item, or at least for my department, should be pretty quick. The planning and zoning, road and bridge, and emergency management are in need of a new copier for our building out at 1240 Commercial. The two machines that Road and Bridge and Planning and Zoning have are at the end of their useful life. We can no longer get updates for them, and they don't make the parts for those machines anymore. We had looked at leasing and also looked at purchasing, and it's just, you know, the long-term, it's a better deal to purchase the machine and just have a monthly service and maintenance contract. So the memo that you have in front of you there, we tried to get 3 bids. One of the companies did not return a quote to us. 360 documents, their purchase price of a machine is comparable to what both of our departments currently have, is $5,895, a one-time documentation fee, and then their monthly maintenance fee is $34.95 plus any copy overages. And then the Image Quest Xerox machine purchase price is $7,725 with a $25 per month service and maintenance agreement. My recommendation is the 360 documents. In the long term, it's the least expensive option for a machine that's comparable to what we have. And the functions that they have all serve the purposes that we need it for.
Quite a few that they service, 360 services in already, so.
Yes.
Will you be able to print, does Road and Bridge need bigger copies? And
We both do Road and Bridge and Planning and Zoning all use
Legals.
the standard letter, legal, and ledger sized. So the 11 by 17.
these to do a ledger?
Yes, sir.
You mentioned copy overages. Do you have any idea, once you're combining all the departments, what kind of total number you're gonna use per month? And is that under the limit or over the limit, or where are we at?
Sure. I do have those numbers, but I don't have them here with me today.
all right. I just-
We did some comparisons,
Okay.
and that's what their quote was based on, is our
Okay, very
typical
good.
usage.
It is, yeah,
Yep.
okay. Plus you got some spare room.
That's correct. That's right.
That guy might want something, some coffee.
Well, you know what? We do have a space that Kobe can join us. We can definitely set up a desk and add him into the copy machine. The new copy machines have the ability to, you can code them to where, like if my department prints something or copies something, it gets charged to my department. Road and Bridge, same way. Theirs will be charged to them. EM will be charged to them. Kobe's new office charged to him. Yeah, so that kind of helps with that billing aspect.
What kind of lifespan do we expect to get out of that then? 3 years, 5 years?
I believe these are 5 to 7 year machines. The ones that,
They become outdated after 3 years.
And then you limp it along for
5 to 7 years, the parts run out.
so I believe the machine that I have in my office that we had way back when downtown is actually, it was purchased in like 2014. So we've had 9 good years out of it. If you do a lease agreement, they pretty much want you to upgrade every 5 to 7 years, or 60 months or whatever, where
Okay.
you can get a few more years out of it than,
So are the current machines owned or are they lease machines?
they are owned.
Okay, so they
So-
can be sold or,
They could be sold, I'm not sure what value they would carry at this point. Both of these companies would be willing to take the
Oh.
machines away
okay,
when they install the new machine and
Okay.
set it all up.
okay,
I vote for that.
yeah, okay.
You don't take them upstairs.
I don't know that it's honestly worth it to try to,
Yep, I just asked the
They're
disposal.
both working today. So is there some organization that could use them?
I mean, like a donation to like a 501c3
Yeah.
or something.
I wouldn't do that to somebody.
I just ask, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
Well, if the guys that work on them aren't willing to work on them, then I suppose it's probably,
yeah, and I agree with that. It just, but they're working today, so.
yeah.
yeah, you run them till they break
And they're done.
and then haul them away.
Well, I just happen to know of a 501c3 that's gonna make some moves here in this next 2 months, and that's why I asked that.
Most of that equipment that they haul out, they sell it to a reseller who pulls the parts out and sells them on eBay.
I mean, I'm willing to do whatever your board wants to do with them.
Well, as of right now, then go ahead, as far as if that's what the board wants to do, I don't have no problem with it, but I just ask.
Yeah, good suggestion.
Any other questions for Sharon on the copier? If not, is there a motion to accept her recommendation?
Yes, so moved. 360.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Gearing, second by Commissioner Crowfoot to accept the bid from 360 Documents as presented. Any other questions, discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
I guess one piece that I didn't mention is that I'd like to use my encumbered funds for the purchase of that machine.
That was what I think it
Oh,
was
it is in the memo.
It's stated in your recommendation, so we're covered.
Okay.
Good.
All right,
Good.
very good. That's all that I had for that portion. We're on the agenda for the 1240 Commercial Drive building update. There are a few things that we're not quite ready. We need to get some more information together, and that should be ready by Monday.
Okay.
However, if you'd like just a general construction update, we can give that.
Okay.
Kobe has been a huge help in facilitating like the project management side of it for the county. He's got a huge background in project management and is familiar with construction processes and materials and things like that. So it's been nice to have Kobe's help with this also. At this point, the building is, I mean, the exterior is pretty well finished, siding is up, the doors are all installed. One door needs to be reoriented. All the windows are installed. The sheetrock is up. The building is insulated. The HVAC system is installed, still working on some duct work, I believe. As far as electrical and cable lines, those are all pulled and ready to be connected. Let's see, mechanical, plumbing is still, underground is ran, water lines are ran, none of the, like, toilet facilities or anything, kitchen.
It's all been pressure tested though.
That I don't know yet. Do you happen to know if the plumbing has been pressure tested yet?
Think it,
I
yeah,
don't,
coming.
I can ask that.
Underground is usually a sewer line, but I mean, the water lines, that just, you'd hate for them not to be pressure tested and then have to rip concrete up again.
Yeah, they've got some of that on their Gantt chart, so coming up.
Okay, so they are scheduled to do that. Okay.
Usually they do that before they pour. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't wanna rip it up anymore than we do, you know? So,
They had a little issue that they worked through here recently, so. But And I think they're still on for the 19th is their target week for punch as well, so they're
so-
trending towards that, so on that schedule.
End of February, we'll be looking at punch list, huh?
That's the goal.
Yes.
And they had a little bit of delay on some painting sheetrock stuff too, that they worked through a weekend or whatever too, and kind of caught back up on schedule, so just getting some final decisions in, so.
That was gonna be my question. How close are we to completion?
Yeah, substantial completion. We're still on schedule for that mid to late February date.
Punch list is a couple weeks.
Did they just replace some siding, or did they replace it all?
All.
They did, it's all, okay, good.
Yep, there were a few spots that, I think they fixed the house wrap or Tyvek or
Yeah,
whatever you call
yeah.
it, and then,
Underneath of it.
that's right, maybe a couple of places around windows that they repaired.
Okay.
Is the sign gone?
The sign is not gone yet. They were waiting for the ice to thaw from the roof, and now the ice is thawed. I can sure ask about that again.
I figured I'd just mention it in the meetings. That way maybe you could have a little more weight with them.
I will definitely
They
mention
reached
that
out on
again.
that this morning because the weather's now cleared to be able to get a decision on that, so. I just wanna leave silk up or however's needed, so.
You don't want us to keep that name? I mean,
Oh.
we're pretty smooth.
Come up with the initials somehow of.
We could reprint that piece of plastic.
Yeah. And do something.
Yeah, that's, what's your preference there?
I don't know.
Get rid of it.
Yeah. Somebody else has had the eye for this thing on what it should look like on the outside, and I would rather stick with their recommendation on how they want to label the building.
Okay.
Because it's not an ugly building now.
That's right. It's pretty sharp looking with that new siding and the windows and doors all trimmed out.
Bring in a chair.
There will be the sign out on the other side of the
Oh, yeah.
street, the big sign along the highway.
Yeah.
So I still need to talk with Western Associates about getting a quote on that and what it should say. And then we could have some vinyl lettering on the window of the building also.
To your point of punch list schedule, they're looking at 5-day, they have it scheduled for 5-day punch list, and that's one of the things we're trying to take and narrow that down so that it can hold to that, and that way it doesn't scope creep on them into a few extra weeks, so trying to get that.
It's just nice to the final payment to be in the month, and then you hold on to your retainage for a month to 60 days, just to make sure you lived in it for a second and found some errors or issues.
I was very pleased I had a chance to look at it recently. I could not believe the space, how it used to be laid out. It looks like it's double the space of what it was. Because instead of the one hallway with one set of rooms, you got a hallway with two sets of rooms, but yet the front doesn't feel any smaller. So you've got a lot of really good usable space in the design, but yet it doesn't feel cramped or small. And then you've got a conference room that's gonna be heavily used by Road and Bridge, by Marcy, by Planning and Zoning.
It's not painted yet, right?
The sheetrock mudding, I think, is finished.
Mudding is finished, not painted
Not
yet.
painted.
Your paint choices will change some of that.
But it's a nice, very nice, I was very impressed with the layout, how the design went.
No, it's definitely,
I'm really excited about it. I mean, the conference room turned out I think it has met or exceeded our expectations. It looks fantastic. I think that we have a really good value for the amount of money that's being spent on this remodel project to get another 20, 30-year lifespan for at least 3 to 4 departments. I feel like it's a very good deal.
And appreciate Kobe's help and
Absolutely.
I know Sharon's and Marcy have been running their wheels off trying to keep on top of everything, and it's been a huge help to them.
Well, and to that effect too, everybody's done a great job. Obviously, me coming in at the 11th hour and stuff too, I did get a chance to kind of concur with that of what I saw before it was even beginning the remodel process, and it does have that much larger feel, much newer remodel. And I think to your point on the colors, if we get dark walls, we're gonna feel like this. But I think they've got your color selection became really good, and I think that'll help kind of keep that open effect, especially with 3 departments in there.
It's
I concur
off-white.
100%. So.
It's just that cream.
if it feels tight, you can always do the wall extension, the coloring, because you can feature wall and then make it longer, and it's weird. It's weird how paint does all that, but it's amazing.
We do have an accent color picked out that's a little bit darker, so it'll help elongate that front portion and give it a little bit of a not quite so industrial feel to it, and then a lighter color on the walls. So
Yeah. All the thought's already been done already. See, I'm just bringing stuff up that's been thought of. That's impressive.
I think they've done a really good job just coming in, seeing it from the outside in. It's come along, and I concur with the spend versus the utilization and your return over those years. Just based off where you guys are configured right now, that'll help tremendously. So, for your price point.
Very good. It's exciting to see it come together.
yes,
It'll be more exciting to move in.
yes. Well, moving is never fun, but
Being settled in.
Moving, yeah.
How about settled?
so, and Lloyd, we kind of talked about maybe holding off until Monday. I think we've still got some discussions we need to have.
Right, yeah. I've talked to I called everybody this morning.
Okay.
There's a message to you too.
Okay.
I concur.
Which phone?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna just finalize the networking component for Monday.
That's good. I'd just soon have everything laid out for us.
Yeah.
Otherwise
Well,
we'll just muddy the waters up.
It's kind of separate from the RFP part.
Right,
This is the coming back here.
Well, appreciate everybody working together on it and getting it
Yeah.
across the finish line.
It's been a big help.
Good.
Somebody who's general contractor level to understand some things. Yeah, it's gonna, here. So,
Good.
it's not been bad. Nice and calm, yeah. We hardly can think of anything to do. 11 o'clock at night, I get this question.
Yes, sorry.
Lloyd, this question's directed to you and both of you two while you're sitting here. We have that property and the Amlis property, and then we have 2 lots behind there. Is all of our communication stuff sort of geared towards if we expand to those 2 lots for some sort of building that we can tie into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've had a lot of discussion about that.
Okay.
We'll do that, and you'll hear more about it on Monday.
Okay.
That throughput back to here, the high availability at the jail and everything, adding those components, so we've got failover. So, yeah, we're working with that design and like, okay, let's buff that up a little bit because that'll save us money down the road for these other parts. So, yeah, been a lot of discussions about that last year. Would you concur about that?
100%.
Yeah.
Your life cycle cost of operations, we're trying to build this infrastructure the way it needs to be forward-thinking for decades, and also be able to then tap in others physically, not necessarily kind of a one-off here, one-off there, especially because it's going to be a remote-hosted site.
Okay.
Accessing resources back here, it needs to be secured and done.
Okay.
We are also looking at redundancy systems. So we've talked to Lloyd about, okay, if this fails, what in this? Because I'm anal about it's gonna fail. But, so we are looking at the redundancy along the way as well.
Are you an American? Things fail. I mean, they do.
They do, and in my job, you assume they're
line
going
of work,
to.
yeah.
Yeah,
We're just trying to
that's,
keep them from failing.
that is my job.
That's what we hope for, but things fail.
Yep.
The
So if
continuity
they
of
fail, what are
operations.
we gonna do?
Yeah.
And we've had discussions about that also included with the Ubers, the jail,
Yeah.
and how we can help with other facilities around the county with, okay, we have this line, then we have this line, now we have this line.
Yeah.
So,
The sample size of 1240 allows us to properly implement at a kind of a lower cost ratio right now to then scale backwards of the more critical sites in the future.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good way to start it.
Good deal. It's been going good. Crazy, but good. Wouldn't think any less of these.
Any other questions? Well, we'll look forward to seeing you all back again on Monday. Yay.
Thanks.
No, appreciate the work together. It's come together. It's gonna be a really good project for the county.
They've done a great job so far.
Thank you.
Chair.
Yeah, well, that's right. Did you get sworn in today? Oh, later today?
mine's about equipment storage. You can stay if you want to.
I've gotta get to Eldria, but thanks.
Okay.
See ya.
Thank you. Hi, Marcy.
Hi. Okay, inside your packets, you have information that I sent about, kind of the equipment storage at the 4-H building concerning the EM and the sheriff's vehicles. There is, if you'll notice on there, I talked about the current situation, there's been an update to that, as recently as Monday night. It's this,
It's in your electronic packet.
Yeah, I didn't know if we printed anything.
oh, sorry.
Okay.
I can go print it right
No,
now.
that's fine.
There was a
Okay.
printout in the mailer last week.
Last week, that's what I was gonna say. I thought we did.
It's on the packet.
I'll let you look well.
Yeah.
The current location for it, or the current situation, I had gotten a phone call on a Sunday night that they were thinking about having a wrestling in there because they had too many people sign up. They have since moved that location. It's not gonna be in the 4-H building. However, I got a call, what's today, Wednesday, Monday night, and they are having an activity in there for FFA. So the wrestling has been moved. We do have to move the vehicles out on Friday, and they have to stay out until the following Thursday. So I kind of wanted to give you guys, last time you had asked me to call around and see what was available outside of the 4-H building. Based on quite a few of those phone calls, there's only 2 areas that might work based on the equipment that you see that's listed on there. I didn't include like any other storage, anything like that. I just included the equipment. Okay, so I didn't look at additional storage options. There was 2 places that came up that can fit the vehicles that we have. There are some kind of other things with these 2 locations that are differences between them. I put just general information on there, the Hillsborough, Kansas location and the Marion Reservoir location. You'll notice that the reason why we kind of went with these 2 locations is the whole old saying, I don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket. So if that building's hit out there, I still have equipment somewhere I can go and help. So we were looking at someplace other than Marion, because you have to have kind of backup locations just in case, which you guys know from coop planning. But so that's why it was Hillsborough and the Marion Reservoir were some of them. You'll notice that the differences already listed there. I'm not gonna rehash all of them. But one of the things that, and since I already brought it up, you know how I think of alternate plans and things like that. One of the problems with the Marion Reservoir, that is not a cost in there, that I would like you guys just to think about, it's fine if Remington is open. But just like what happened with us with the cold, I need an alternate way to get to that facility. The only alternate way to get to this one out of the reservoir is to actually take some back roads up that are not gravelled. So there might involve, if we decide that as a location, just keep in mind, it may involve rocking some additional roads and things like that, which is an additional cost. Because you always want to have, yes, this is the primary way I get to it, but you always want to have a backup way to get to it in case a road is blown shut and, road and bridge is busy, which, we all just experienced that. So, that's one of the things to keep in mind when you're looking at these two areas. I'll go with, and if you guys have more areas I can call, I'll be happy to call them. But that's kind of what we were looking at for possible locations. So,
What year is the dually truck?
it's 2010.
2010.
It's got 29,000 miles on it.
Well,
I just drove it last week, so that's how I know.
I've been here since we bought it. We ain't used the thing.
No,
It costs
we're,
Marion County a lot of money to store it, use it, take care of it. I can't see the justification anymore for Marion County to do that. This is 14 years, if it was all bought in 10 then.
We can't get rid of it though.
Well, wait a minute.
it's actually, yes, we do all the maintenance on it,
Yeah.
so. And that's oil changes and filling it with gas.
The truck was given.
It goes with, the big tower trailer?
It's all with us.
Homeland
We didn't
gave it.
purchase the truck.
No, we did not
So
purchase
if all we're
it.
doing is paying maintenance through the years, we've never made it to the, whatever price it was in 2010, and it's a diesel,
Yes.
we've never made it to $40,000 or $30,000, whatever a diesel was at that point.
Right.
I can guarantee
It's
that.
just a
I
problem, that's a
bet
problem.
we, I bet we're way over that, Jonah,
You think?
because I've seen a lot of time spent on it. How much time do we spend on it for this position to do that? There's way more time than that. Way more. Depends
I know
on, it depends on the administrator who takes care of it.
Yeah.
I'm in reference to what was before Marcy's time. So-
We have not put new tires on it, I will tell you that.
But what's the tower trailer, load, vehicle, gross vehicle
Oh, yeah.
Weight.
requirement for a truck?
I don't know off the
Is it
top of my,
110 or-
yeah, it has to be, you have to remember that's a 40-foot trailer with a communications tower on it. So you have to have, it's a fifth wheel, so it has to be, we don't have any other vehicles currently in our, in just EM or sheriff that can haul that.
Legally.
Legally, yes.
We do have
County
it.
doesn't have a fifth wheel, does it?
Yes, we do. We do have in the
Do you?
transfer or the trash department, we do have a new truck that sits over there that pulls all the bins and stuff like that. That's a 1-ton truck, and that's a 1-ton dually too, so it's probably rated at the same thing, and it's got have a fifth wheeler in it. It's just a single cab instead of a dual cab, so we do have that, but yeah, I just want to value what it cost and why.
If that dually is out being used for something, and we do have an emergency, that would be a horrible egg on our face.
Right.
Well,
To have given up that dually that we had.
we do use the dually, just so you know, it's not just used in emergency, it's used for events. We used it at, we use it at the Peabody fireworks, we're gonna use it again in Florence at the race. A lot of times the dually is, right now, because the tower trailer's still out of commission, the dually is hooked up to the command trailer. So at any point in time, if we need that command trailer, the dually pulls it. So the EM truck already has separate stuff in it. It can go one way, the dually and the command trailer can go another. So we do use the dually for events. Like I said, we're gonna use it for the Florence race. We've used it for, I hauled the command trailer down to Peabody, we used the dually for that. It's nice because, and this is just personal, you can throw this away if you want to, but when we have the command trailer set up somewhere, and if I have to run someplace else, I still have my EM truck to do it. That's why we try to use the dually for the command trailer, because,
Keep it hooked up.
It's dedicated.
right, and that's what we did
You
during,
don't have to worry about somebody stealing the trailer.
yes.
You don't have a ball lock, you got a dually attached to it.
Well,
They have
yeah.
to steal all of it.
They have to steal the whole thing. So, and that's, we kind of do that to keep ourselves free in case, because we don't know when the next call's coming. So that way you have the EM truck ready to respond, but you also have the dually there with the command trailer that is currently taking care of a current situation. So,
Now tell me the difference between the command trailer and the red trailer.
the red trailer, remember, we're trying to get rid of.
Oh, we are? Okay.
Yeah,
Didn't know
yeah.
that. Okay.
The last time you had asked me to see about getting rid of that, right now it's in the hands of KHP. That PSAP trailer, the old dispatch trailer, all the equipment on it, of course, is old.
That's
Was
the red one, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
It was
Talking the
given.
Same thing here.
Yeah, it was given to us by Homeland. The problem was that Homeland was handled two different ways. KHP used to handle that in-house, and now it's a separate entity. Well, that separate entity kind of separated out right after we got those PSAP trailers around the counties. Problem is, they're having a hard time finding the actual owner documentation on those trailers. So, but yes.
It's actually gonna be 9/10 of the law here in a second.
And that's, we're trying to find, it's at KHP right now, we're trying to find everything. We had a copy of that paperwork, but, and this was before my time, you guys might know, but the jail flooded, or the sheriff's office flooded, or something flooded over there.
The the old one probably might have, if anything, yes.
Okay, well, when that did, a lot of that documentation for some of those older vehicles was toast.
Okay.
So we don't have it on the county end. I even double checked with the clerk's office and the treasurer's office just to see if they had backup copies. They do not. So that's why it's in the hands of KHP, because they're trying to find all the old documentation that the county no longer has because of that flood. So I apologize for the length of time that's taken right now.
No, I
But
just wanna
yeah.
see where we're on track for this whole picture here, because we're talking about spending more tax dollars money to protect this, and so, you
Yeah.
know, the most reasonable, if it's gonna be ours to stay, then better be a building over here.
Now, and this was just brought up kind of in general conversation, if we find out that, it's one of those things that, DHS, Department of Homeland Security, decides, no, it's been off the books for so many years, it's now county property. One thing that you could use that for is strip all that equipment from the inside, it's no use anyway, and use it as an evidence trailer for the sheriff's office and park it right out back there, and they can actually store evidence in there on camera, so that little shed isn't just what they have for evidence storage. From my understanding, and this was done again before my time, they did have to use the PSAP trailer for a case at some point in time with, Rob Kraft was involved. So it was
Something.
quite a few years
Yeah.
ago. But they did bring the PSAP trailer out here and used it for evidence storage because they had so much evidence from, I think it was a rash of robbery cases. So that's another option, just strip it down, clean it out, and use it for storage for,
It's a covered trailer.
yeah. So, that wouldn't necessarily need a storage unit for it. You could just, you know,
If we start parking them all outside,
Yep.
we know what's gonna happen to them in a matter of time. I mean, they deteriorate, they're not built forever, just like a camper trailer, same thing.
yep, and this one's old.
So that's, I just want people to keep in mind that, you know, we've had this discussion 20 times since moving the equipment here, move the equipment there, move it around, went to Hillsborough, back. It was good at the Hillsborough battery place. It was good there when co-op, they were using that, and so now we've moved out of there. But it's just recurring events that, what can we do about it? Or do we need it? And you don't think you can turn that tower trailer back to somebody?
The tower trailer is the second one on the list. The PSAP we were gonna try to take care of first, and then the tower trailer is gonna be the
Or you
next
think
one.
the documentation might have been down there too?
Yeah, that's what that's the bad part.
Get your deal.
Yeah.
But the tower trailer would end up going to another county. That one is still the one in Reno County is still used. What it'll probably do is, right now, Communications Division of, Kansas Division of Emergency Management and KDOT have what's called a South Cow and a North Cow. The COW stands for Communication on Wheels. And so, in case something happens with the 800 megahertz communications in the state, these cows are deployed. Well, what they'll do is they'll end up taking the tower trailer. That won't leave the state. It'll go to a different entity with a dually, and they'll use it as a deployable asset. So, just like the Reno County, they do for theirs. And then they also still have in our COOP plan, if one of your backup plans that if something, let's say you've got an EMPG blast and it takes out the 800 megahertz towers. Well, a lot of the infrastructure is protected to go back to ham radio. So, I mean, you could actually, I know that sounds very old school, but that's, one of those lines in our defense. We'll still have communications, and we'll just call up all the ham radio operators. And that's why those ham radio operators are still in our COOP plan, in our emergency operations plan, because that is one of those things down there. You can stick ham devices right up to that tower trailer and run a complete ham system. They test that once a year, and I go down and I do it with them down in Reno County, just in case it's something that we need to do here. I know what to do to our tower trailer to outfit it to actually run a ham radio system. So, we do have some of that equipment here now.
Yeah, it's good to know. It's just, they don't use us. Not that we want to be used, because that usually means an emergency somewhere. And but if we'd have thought about maybe more, and when we took and got the unit, it was sold by the emergency management that this is the thing we wanted to do. Well, I don't know.
It was free.
Well, you thought it would be, we'd had the Greenberg deal come up and other things too, so after that, and so those kind of situations come up around our country with the tornadoes. Chapman and stuff like that.
And we were on the list for Andover. But the Andover one, we never got called up because Sedgwick has more assets than we do, and they got hit too. So they just brought everything to Butler all at once. So that kind of.
The last Andover deal. Not
Yeah,
the
the
first one.
tornado.
Yeah, there's been two of them,
Yeah,
not the first one.
not the first one, this
Yeah.
one that most recent.
Yeah.
Not the PSAP trailer, but the tower trailer. Would we be doing any undue harm to ourselves, or unneeded, like an unforced error, by getting rid of that? I see that as, you've got a resource, so you may have a better chance of a grant, or you may have a better chance of something, because, hey, we gotta keep them alive, because if something goes bad, this county doesn't have it, that county doesn't have it, that county. This one does, let's make sure they're well-funded.
Well, and the other thing that you kind of have to keep in mind is the 800 megahertz communications in the county. There are spots that are lacking. Like if you go up to Lincolnville, Lost Springs, that whole area, it's not just a Marion County problem. It's Morris and Dickinson, and that whole corner is like a dead zone up there for 800 megahertz. The tower trailer can be used in that situation to assist with having another relay, and boom, your communications is better. Radio communications are improving daily, just like internet. So eventually it may come to where you just want to build a tower up there and have, now you're talking $5 million. So yeah, it would have to be grant funded or something along those lines in order to improve those communications. That, of course, we already experienced that because we came into that same problem when we had the Middle Creek fire. We got down into that bowl and we had no cell, no radio, no nothing, and we went back to runners for communications. That's, I think, going to happen in the Flint Hills. But the tower trailer can assist with that, and that's kind of why Marion County was chosen over other counties to have it, was because of that big dead spot we got in the northern part of the county. That's a big one, and it wasn't just for us, it was for the surrounding counties too. So that's how we got it over other counties that had requested it, was the Flint Hills did it for us. So that's kind of a little bit of background of where it came from, maybe where we're going with it, but I didn't think you guys would want to spend $5 million on a new radio tower, so that's why I've been trying to make sure the tower trailer is operational.
But like Commissioner Goering was saying, if we do get rid of assets, does that impact future potential grants?
Of course.
Okay.
It does. And that's according to Homeland Security, because what they look at now that they didn't look at then is, do you have a permanent location to house this? Some of us have been turned down for grants because we don't. Luckily, it came up in the Maisonette discussion. Do you guys remember me telling you about that? That's the weather station that we're trying to get in the county. It did come up during the Maisonette discussion. Luckily, we have, since it is a project that is partnered with K-State, K-State will be doing all the location setup and everything like that. So it's not something that, once they open that up and K-State said, we'll take over this component, then more counties got the option of actually having one because it wasn't county-based, and county has to do all the work. So same type of thing. When you look at grants, you guys know, with all the grants that we've gotten lately, they really dig into, okay, you're going to have this for 30 years. Do you have someplace to house it? Can you do this? Do you have a dedicated facility for this? Do you have, it's just why we got turned down during COVID, because they didn't think our EOC was good enough. So we got turned down for all those EOC remodel money that they had during COVID, because we don't have a good enough facility to begin with. So.
All right, well, back to the issue in front of us. You brought us up to date on some of the long-term plans for some of the equipment. But in the meantime, short-term, we need to look at options for storage for short-term.
And if you have more phone numbers, that you want me to call, I can do that too. But if you could just keep it on your radar that, I'll keep moving them as long as you tell me to keep moving them. So.
Well, I don't want to have to do that. I mean, that's some of the things we don't want to do.
So, I don't want you guys to think I'm complaining about it, because I'm not.
But you're informing us.
But yes, I want to keep you guys in the loop of when, and that's why every time that they request to have it moved out, moved back in, I always send an email out to and include the Tina on it like you guys requested, so you know when we have to move out and back in. So now the Hillsborough facility is going to allow us in short term, because we've got to be out Friday and we can't be back in for a week, the Hillsborough facility did say that they would let us stay there for that week, so. No charge, which I thought was kinda cool. So,
Where's that facility at?
it's across from Sonic. It has, all highway access to it, all paved road access to it. It is off of access roads, so you're not going through the city itself. You're going on the outskirts, which is always good in a disaster.
So where's it at?
Right just to the south of Sonic,
Lumberyard.
lumberyard,
Oh, okay.
lumberyard.
Be a good location.
Yeah, it's
Which
got,
is owned by this gentleman right here.
I'm staying out of it.
that's why he's not
I
talking.
have not been speaking when it came to the storage
That's fine.
issues.
So,
Thank you.
yeah. That's one of the things, if you guys wanna go see where that location's at, that's why I kinda put those on there. The Marion Reservoir location is the storage units out at East Shore. So if any of you are familiar with the reservoir and those storage units out there, you can see, or just looking at them from a map, you can see the different routes in and out. The main route in, of course, is up Old Mill, but if we have something happen to Old Mill Road, which we've had that already happen, then I need an alternate route to get in there, so.
I guess in light especially of the short-term situation that you can use this weekend, again, depending on what the rest of the commission, I would think it'd be a great opportunity to try it, see how it works. Maybe if commissioners could go over and look at it with you when the equipment's in there, to see how it fits, how it works. This would be a chance we could actually try it before making a decision on it. Would that,
And I'll be honest, the dually's a mess because she was out during the snow, so she was dirty. So please don't look at the dually like, okay, this thing hasn't been cleaned in a while. It's got mud all over it.
that's
But
good.
yeah, she was out during the storm, so I
Wash
need,
them every day if you want them clean.
yeah, she does need a good washing. So I apologize for her being dirty.
So was there opposition from any commission to trying it out and then
No, thanks.
reassess?
Need an alternative.
No, I just, we wanna be transparent,
Absolutely.
and we want the public to know.
Absolutely.
And, if the owner of that property, which is sitting here, has offered that, for a short-term deal, I don't know what kind of time frame you're looking at, but,
Well, it'd be until February 8th.
He's doing it for a week.
It's almost a full week. We would move it out this Friday, and then we could move it back in the following Thursday, which is February 8th.
Not very far either, so
and
not much road time.
I think we expect to pay for whatever we do. That's my feelings.
So we have a consensus? We'll put that as board consensus to use that opportunity.
Just kind of abstain from the consensus.
I think that's what you have to do. I mean,
Or would it be better to take a vote and then it'd be a formal?
yeah.
Okay, would there be a motion to,
I'd make that motion to use this facility. It's owned by a commissioner at this time to a short-term trial and see what it comes out like.
At $0.
$0, I guess, then, okay.
we have a motion, do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Becker. Further discussion? Not, just a discussion, I'd say it's a good opportunity. Again, no cost to the county, let's try it and see if can be used until we get a long-term solution in place or remove some of the equipment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
Abstain.
One abstain. 4 in favor, 1 abstain. That way we got a formal vote on it. Very good. All right. Marcy, thank you for the information. A lot of good discussion today about some long-term things that, as Randy said, we've talked about 20 times. But you've made some progress on it, and we appreciate that. It's just like going through the snow. in the mud.
I will keep you updated on that. Just as a side note, a little bit with the snow, because of some of we had a structure fire in the middle of it too. We did not have, EM does not have any winter gear. So I didn't realize that until the temperatures got so cold. We are looking at getting Carhartt bib overalls because 5.5 hours in that temperature was not good. And then looking at getting winter coats. Those would not be, those would be like in, you know how I have you do preparedness stuff in your car. This is the same thing we would do. We would have a winter tote, and then that would be pulled out when the temperatures got cold. So just like with any uniform, it would be winter gear that would be stored in EM to be used for these types of temperatures. I'm also looking at one of the things that we ran across in the structure fire, which the fire chiefs will probably talk to you about, but we had a lot of pumps and hydrants freezing up just because the minute you started water, it was freezing. So I'm looking at possibly just getting a heat gun that we can carry in the EM truck that's battery operated that we can use to free up some of those,
That's a good idea.
you know, faucets and pumps in that type of situation. Now, I do have to give props to the fire departments because the people on scene actually just called everybody in. Because when we knew we were having a problem with things freezing up, instead of having a dump tank that when it went too low, it was freezing over, they just brought all the trucks in they could and kept that water flowing in order to get that structure fire out. So they did an excellent job that way with some very extreme temperatures and extreme situations. The other thing that will be carried in the EM truck that we found, when you're spraying all that water, you have a safety issue with slips and falls. So Co-op had some really cheap salt for $5 a bag. So from here on out, Marcy will carry salt in the back end of the EM truck for that type of situation.
It's just like a sandbag though, it gives you extra traction to use that salt.
Exactly. So it does give, yeah. And for the record, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, but that EM truck works so good in the winter. So I was
glad you hung
you know,
on to that big
yeah, I mean it was, I know I keep complaining about the fact that she's up high, but if she wasn't up high, I couldn't have got here at 6 o'clock in the morning to dispatch. I couldn't have got on the highways that I needed to get on. I was going through snow drifts and everything, and she did not slide once. So it was absolutely wonderful, worked well. The new tires that you guys let me purchase to have on it, perfect. So yes, that it was put to the test during that snowstorm, and it came out with flying colors.
There's not very many times you have to use it, but when you do have to, you
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it was.
Go back to your question, or clothing. I don't want this person buying a coat that's my size and then she have to wear it. And I mean, you will fit yourself with gear, won't you?
Be the right size for the right person.
Yes. Because there's nothing more than having the wrong size gear and you're out there.
Absolutely.
Well, and what we tried to do is we tried to get one that, because technically I could go with a medium, but that might be too small for anybody else who comes after. And so what we did is I just went with the large because I can add clothes underneath, but that way just in case. And that's one of the things that we've done with all the EM uniforms from here on out. We're not getting names put on them. Nobody gets a name put on their uniform. We have ID cards and you can carry those with our names on them. But your uniform from here on out and anything that I buy for EM will only have EM. So then this can be given to the next person or the next person so you don't have to keep buying. And those Carhartt bibs will last 20 years if you treat them right.
Oh, yeah.
So
you catch a barbed wire fence.
well, yeah. But
Because you're hustling.
but yeah, so that's one of the things that we did look at. We did try, but as you can see, I try to get, except for my actual shirts that I wear, but those are fitted to me. But everything else we try to get a little bit bigger, roomier, just in case. So, you know, if I'm killed tomorrow,
You're just out there 5 hours in it. You ought to know that if it fits good, it's better all the way around. So that's, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think this commission's gonna complain about anything you fit for yourself. You're gonna be there, and maybe your helpers too. I don't.
You got a yearly budget that you can replenish. one piece.
And that's what, I was told by the clerk's office. She says, you know,
You've
there's.
got money to spend.
Yes, she says under your budget, you have money for uniforms that you can buy the winter weather. When she told me that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go do that now because it took me 2 days to get my thighs to get feeling back in them. So, yeah, that was,
Dangerous.
yeah, that was not a good, it's a
Once you
safety.
get frostbite, it comes back real
comes
easy,
back.
over and over and over. I've done it to my fingertips, and so it gets cold. I used to not have a problem with cold, and now whenever it gets cold, my fingertips, within minutes.
Well, and I had 3 layers on that day, and it just didn't matter. I mean, and I wasn't out as long as those firemen, but you looked at even the pictures of the firemen that were in the paper, they had ice on them. I mean, you just,
That keeps you warm.
Yeah,
Oh, it does.
that's
it does. There were several of them that were sweating underneath their bunker gear.
In the feedlots, get wet first thing in the morning and you freeze up and you stay warm all day.
Once the ice hits here and here, this part stays completely warm.
Well, Marcy, I'm glad you got the weather equipment you needed. That's something needs to be done.
Yep. All right, anything else?
Again, thank you for all your work, and all the emergencies that we dealt with, the storm we dealt with, and working with the equipment.
And thank you very much for the declaration. You guys doing the declaration. You noticed the governor did one too. But now the county is available, and I've sent this out to all the departments that were involved with that winter storm. Now that we can actually start tracking money. Now there's thresholds you will have to meet, but we can track that money now because of your declaration and because of the governor's. So good job on that.
Does it give us any foot in the door since we did it first?
It's always nice to do it before the governor does, because then it does show, and with that extension that you guys did, you cover more than what hers did. So we are covered till the 23rd, and hers only goes to the 21st. So, yes, you guys did good on that, so thank you for that.
Expect some money in about 3 years.
Yeah, or 5, yeah.
6.
Well, we just finally completely finished the flood of 19.
Last year, I think.
Yeah. 6 years. Again, thank you, Marcy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Sorry, Chris.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Hi, Krista.
Hello.
All right, time for a quarterly update.
Yes. Would you like to start with the update or the grant?
You're running this presentation.
Start with the grant.
Okay.
So the grant I have is a Safe Kids mini grant. And it is in you can tell when someone's messed with something off the printer. You know when it's not in the same order that you picked it up in.
Somebody else's printing.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
In your defense, you should have had 15 more minutes prepared.
So this is it's a Safe Kids mini grant. It's in the amount of $4,999, which was the maximum amount that was granted this year. Last year we got just a little bit less. This is the grant that we use to purchase life jackets or bicycle helmets or things for safety devices. So when you see those things, that's what we use it for. I will pass this down. What they want us to do now, which is a little bit different.
You're passing this to her, aren't you?
Yeah, I can even walk it over
We'll get
there.
down there to you. I just wanted to make sure if anybody wanted to look at it.
It's not going to be a signed grant. They want us to use DocuSign. I had talked with Tina previously, and she said, just get, the motion and get it approved through commission, and then I would sign it and send it off electronically.
Any questions for Krista on the grant itself? If not, is there a motion to approve the kids grant acceptance of funds approval and authorize Krista to sign the paperwork.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Gehring, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Crowfoot. Discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0. Thank you, Krista.
The next things that I have are for quarterly updates. So there's 2 pages in the quarterly update, and then Erin Hine, who's our Safe Kids coordinator and chronic disease risk reduction coordinator, that's a mouthful in itself. She had provided me a Safe Kids impact report for 2023, and so this talks about how many people that received certain things, students that were impacted, number of devices that were given out. So the first thing I have to pass around is the Safe Kids impact, and I'll let you all look at that.
Come on, get it out there.
And the next thing I have to pass around is actually 2 pages, so make sure you grab
Grab 2 of them.
2 pages. Does anyone have any questions on the Safe Kids Impact Report? I wasn't gonna go through each one of those numbers, but over,
Like, great numbers, I mean, big numbers.
yeah,
I was shocked at the
Impressive.
bike helmets, 246 on there.
yeah. So last year, Peabody holds an annual Kids Safety Day, and last year the health department participated in that, and we're planning on participating in that again this year. And a lot of those bicycle helmets were given out at that event to the students, as well as our Safe Kids Day that was held in Marion. The next thing that I have is our quarterly update. So this is mostly all from October 31st. If not, I've included a few things that were in October that weren't on my last update. And so since the last update, we held our annual health fair at Tabor College in Hillsborough. Our plan is to alternate every other year, Hillsborough 1 year, Marion the next, just because of the venue, the venue's ability to hold that many people. So St. Luke and Hillsborough hospitals, or Hillsborough Community Hospitals, they collected 97 people their lab work, and they did that at a discounted rate. The health department provided 67 vaccinations, flu and COVID, and next year the health fair is tentatively scheduled for November 2nd, which is the first Saturday in November at the Marion Sports and Aquatic Center. Dan Schaefer, who is our new public health emergency preparedness coordinator, was hired, and he began his position on December 21st. He works approximately 10 hours for the health department, and the remainder of the time 30 hours for EM. I don't know if any of you have gotten the pleasure of meeting Dan, so and then just kind of as review, his position is paid out of our public health emergency preparedness grant funds every year. On November 14th, I provided a bloodborne pathogens training for the Cottonwood Grove School. That's something that's recommended that all schools receive it. They hadn't been doing that there. And so Pam Hollub and Charlotte Dirksen, they're both RNs. They completed their training for level 2 hearing screenings in November. They both conducted hearing screenings at every school in Marion County this fall. We held just recently on January 23rd our first chronic disease risk reduction coalition meeting, which is a requirement of our grant that we received this year. It was a very good meeting. We had lots of involvement from different sectors, including a business owner, schools, a college, other agencies like K-State Research and Extension, and Families and Communities Together. Erin Hines, she serves on, who is our Safe Kids Coordinator. She continues to serve on the Hillsborough Community Child Care Center, or H4C board. She continues to meet with the architect and assist with grants to fund the center. And they are currently preparing to put the project up for bid. And this center will provide daycare for up to 99 children. And then I have the WIC report. Charlotte Dirksen is our WIC coordinator, and at the New Year she provided a newsletter to the clients that went out to all of her WIC clients. We did some comparison in numbers, so we had a 29.5% increase of participating WIC clients from last December to this December, which is a big, huge deal. So currently we have served 129 people that are participating in our WIC services. We have 141 that are enrolled but that aren't participating actively. And as a requirement of our federal WIC grant, we have to complete a nutrition services plan. Charla completed that and submitted it to the state, which doesn't sound like but it's a big thing to do. And then have the quarterly Safe Kids report. Fire Prevention Week activities took place in mid-October, and they reached 576 students. Erin Hine coordinates that works through our office, and they did this at Marion and Hillsborough schools, and 576 students that they reached. The new firehouse inflatable, they got to use that at both events. And they did this in conjunction with the fire departments and several other agencies. 6 car seat installations took place from October to January. 5 families received safe sleep education from October to January. So those are just kind of a hodgepodge, like if someone calls into the office or they're needing it, or a WIC client is needing those things and we find out about it, but we haven't had any events in that time frame. Erin partnered with K-State Research and Extension, and they provided railroad safety to 29 preschool students.
Clifford the dog.
They each received a Clifford the dog book and read that to them during their educational period. Our immunization report, we have had a total of 529 vaccines since October 31st, administered to 422 patients. 195 of those were COVID vaccines, 113 of those were influenza vaccines. That's kind of getting to the tail end of flu season in this report for the vaccinations. 102 of those were RSV vaccines, which were new this fall. And the remainder of those 119 were other vaccines, whether it was childhood immunizations or people coming in for a tetanus shot or hepatitis A or,
Seeing any kind of decline in like the MMR shots and certain things. I mean, East Coast, West Coast is starting to develop problems.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're letting old things reemerge.
So measles, we received a Kansas Health Alert Network notification this week about measles outbreaks. So that is, a consequence of having less people vaccinated.
I just didn't know if that's something we should have on our radar. I mean, is that really something that's happening here where people are not getting kids vaccinated, or is it?
Yes. People filing exemptions. So schools, through the state of Kansas, there's a statute that requires students to get the regular childhood immunizations. That doesn't include COVID, that doesn't include influenza. And we're seeing more exemptions as a whole in the last few years of people filing either religious exemption or a medical exemption. And there is impacts that go along with that, because with any immunization, it doesn't take for everybody. You may have an immune condition. There may be somebody that has cancer that's taking chemotherapy.
That's the reason why you gotta get the 95%, so you get that bubble.
Herd immunity type.
Isn't there a requirement for so much before you start kindergarten for kids?
It is.
So many vaccinations, but I didn't know whether measles is on that or not.
It is.
It is, okay.
But they still have the opportunity to file an exemption.
Exemption, okay.
Here,
Yeah.
polio's coming back too.
Polio, we saw that, I believe it was last year. It's been since I've been at the health department, and it wasn't here in Kansas, but they were seeing it in New York. They had outbreaks of that.
You're seeing the percentages of nationwide of, and then it's fell below, it fell to 92% from 96, and all of a sudden we've got these outbreaks. I mean, it's, the science is on the money. The 95% is for real.
Yeah. And the other problem that we're up against, because the younger people of my generation, generations younger than me, they didn't experience polio. They didn't experience measles. They didn't experience mumps. So they don't know why there's a reason to be vaccinated.
I don't know why there was an air gun at the schools. Everybody did line up and went.
They don't understand that. And so.
I didn't have it done, but I've seen videos and I've heard about it, so.
Yeah. Also in December, I didn't put this on our update, but myself, Pam, Charla, and Aaron, we all met with the school nurses in the county to try and help encourage that, encourage them to send out notification to students if they're behind on their vaccines. They are a requirement, but to send out, just a reminder when they know that students are behind. Upcoming events, February 17th, we're holding a community baby shower at Peabody, and we do this, safe sleep education is provided there, so people, if they're in need of a pack and play or a safe sleep environment for their child, if they don't have a crib or they need a pack and play, they can get one for free if they take the training at this baby shower.
Last year I went to one in Hillsborough. I thought it was very interesting to go to see all the people who came and how happy they were when they left. The mothers and the kids, because they had 15 or 20 people exhibiting, and they were all giving out information and helpful, and I was impressed. All the new mothers. Some of them needed help, I think.
Invitations, we do provide invitation, so with clients that come through, if the mother is pregnant at the time or if they have a child that's under a year of age, they have been given an invitation to this event. Also, our people that we partner with, like early childhood or infant toddler services, our early childhood task force, we've notified them of this event. The Healthy Start home visitor, she's aware of the event and talks to people that she meets with. And so we're hoping that we get a good turnout again this year, but we wanted to make sure that we were getting it to a different part of the county. And Governor's Public Health Conference is March 4th through the 6th in Wichita, and Center Safety Day, this will be the first year that we've ever held this. The health department will be hosting it there, and we'll have lots of partners helping us with this event. So we kind of copied Peabody's event, and we wanted to get it to another school.
Cool.
And the annual Safe Kids Day will be on May 4th at the Marion County Fairgrounds in Hillsborough. And that's what we have coming up.
Sounds great. Busy schedule.
Yes.
I'm hoping that the Governor's Public Health Conference will have an area they deal with the illegal immigrants. We've got 8 to 10 million new residents in this country that are unvaccinated. I just returned from an area that I could not believe what I saw. Immigrants lining streets, corners, walking around buildings.
I know
It's gonna affect every piece of this country. We got 4 new Nebraskas in the United States. And if we think that it's not gonna impact us, hold your breath.
At our Healthcare Coalition meeting, they had sent out some information on this. So you're right, that does have impacts, has health impacts for everyone, and, to be thinking ahead. And some of the programs that we have through the state, you know, while they cost money up front, but, you know, to be providing immunizations to people who may not be citizens, it still affects everyone else's health too. And like our 317 programs, if people don't have insurance or they're underinsured, that they can get vaccines for free minus the administration cost. The other thing I would like to ask, so with our workforce development funds, that's the grant that we got this last year, over $80,000. It's over a period of 5 years. They want you to use that for workforce development, for training, for education. I would like to use some of those funds to take staff to the Governor's Public Health Conference, which they have topics in every program area. Or what I've experienced, I haven't got to see the actual, you know, what.
When you go to the conference, you can only go to so many seminars. There's like.
They have lots of
Much
breakout
going on at the
sessions,
same
kind of
time.
like KAC.
Yeah.
You know, you pick and you go to the one that you like to see the most. But I would like to get blessing from you all to take staff there.
What's that
Those
do?
that would like to
What's
go.
that do to your office? What is the 4th through the,
4th through the 6th. So the day of the 4th is a pre-conference.
is it
I
Friday, Saturday?
probably wouldn't. It's a Tuesday and Wednesday, or the 5th and the 6th, I believe. So
What's
it would
happening?
likely take our program assistant, Kim, up front out, and Pam would probably both go, which Pam, Kim, and I are the only 3 full-time people. And so we would have to shut office down temporarily for 2 days with your blessing. And the pre-conference would not have, we wouldn't take everyone to the pre-conference.
Well, it's a training opportunity to learn, and that's the grant is about, developing your workforce. So it's a training opportunity.
And with it being in Wichita, there's not, you know, hotel associated with it. It's just driving back and forth to that.
How does it help the secretary?
How does it help the secretary? She's our WIP clerk, so she helps in that capacity. She also has to direct calls to everybody else. She sits through our staff huddles, but she's very instrumental in providing resources to the
Everybody
community.
multitask in your organization, don't they?
We have, through our office, life happens. Last week I had the nurse was out because her son had surgery. The receptionist was out because she was having, she had a family member with health problems. And so we very much have to step into other roles. And so I got to play receptionist and nurse, and Jessica got to play receptionist. And so it gives them a broader understanding too, and who to direct them to. Kim's often the front line of, hey, I'd like to get a radon test. Who can you direct me to? Because they have speakers from all realms.
Also understanding what other people are responsible for, or, you know, outside of them also keeps your animosity down in the office. Where you think somebody's getting favoritism, but an
Right.
understanding of their job helps be like, oh, well, this is why they get that, or whatever.
And from my standpoint as the department head, a conference like that is very good. It's energizing to them. You know, you come back with renewed energy. You're excited to do the work. It's not a normal day-to-day routine.
A common point conversation tool. It's a team building exercise. In the end, when you
Yes.
get back, you both experience the same thing, so you have something.
That's what I would hope for it, but as I've told Kent, we've been discussing our outside boards, and they pulled the whole board off of Midcap down there and went there, and it ended up in a fiasco. So that's why I'm asking that question, is because they took people probably shouldn't have went, and so it ended up in a fiasco, and that's, you know, there's other circumstances besides that, but you hope it's just what you said, Joe. You hope it's a team building deal, but it can end up in a fiasco sometimes.
Would there be a motion to allow Chris's recommendation of taking
I'd so
staff,
move.
using the grant funds to the training sessions? Motion by Commissioner Crowfoot, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gehring. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried 4-0. Thank you.
Does anybody have anything else before?
Busy busy. It's never a slow time, right?
There's different things, different parts of the year. Yeah. Thank you, you're welcome.
Thank you,
Next
Christie.
Tuesday, we'll see you, huh?
Yes.
All right, that concludes the agenda, public forum. I don't see anyone from the public. Luke is online. Did Luke have any comments? If you do, unmute your microphone. Not seeing it. Commission comments.
I just have one that I will be meeting with the landowner down south in my district on contract labor. And I may invite him here, so don't know what he has to present, but I do want to listen to him and see what he has to present, so.
Any other commission comments? If not, I move to adjourn. Second by Commissioner Dalkey. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carried. I'm going to count Jonah. It's 5-0. Thank you all very much.